All right, what's next? Connemara PEATED Single Malt Irish Whiskey? What the f? Hello everybody and welcome to the Whiskey Dictionary. Today I'm going to be talking to you about Connemara's PEATED Single Malt Irish Whiskey. Now, a lot of times when I do this channel, I know what I'm going to give this as a recommendation before I even film, because obviously I've sat on the couch, I've had my couple drams or so, I've made my notes, and I know what I'm going to tell you guys. Very, very rarely do I change my mind on a video when I'm recording. However, sometimes I get really excited about a whiskey, and sometimes I don't. You know, if I know I'm not going to recommend something, I give you guys the information, I call it a day, give my recommendation not to buy it, and then sometimes I try Connemara. Sometimes I try a whiskey that I'm excited to try, I'm excited to drink, and I'm excited after drinking it, and that is awesome. I told people I was going to be reviewing this Irish whiskey during this month, and they got excited for me, and that is usually a good sign. So, talking about Connemara, when I read that they were the only Irish peated whiskey in Ireland, I didn't believe it because, you know, distilleries aren't exactly truthful. And that's part of the reason this channel exists, is to kind of cut through some of the BS. However, I did my own research, and they are in fact the only peated Irish whiskey out there. And that's interesting because Irish whiskey, you know, tends to be light, tends to be fruity, tends to be smooth. And so to throw some peat on there kind of feels like it defeats the purpose, but it also got me excited for the concept of having a smooth peated whiskey. Because, you know, I'm used to peated scotches, obviously, and some of them are harsh. You know, some of them are good, some of them are smooth, some of them are peaty and smoky and whatnot. But Irish whiskey is a different beast, and I wanted to try this really bad. Anyway, I've gone on and on here. So, Connemara is named after an area in County Galway, and that's about it. Basically, they just wanted to represent that area of the country. So it's double distilled, which is the same thing that Scotch does, and it's made at the Cooley distillery. So this is not really overly exciting as far as history goes. There's not a whole lot to talk about here, so instead, after that whole spiel at the beginning, let's get into the nosing and the tasting here. All right. Oh yeah, actually, so I'm gonna derail for just one more second here. So as I was nosing this and tasting it, I started thinking, you know, what Scottish whiskeys, what peated Scotch have I had that would be similar? And about 2 minutes before filming the episode, I wanted to try. I had Ardbeg Ano, I had Ardbeg Ugadale, I had Bowmore 15, I think, and I tried a couple of other random peated ones because I was trying to nail down something that was similar to this, and none of them were. Where those Scotches ended up becoming a little bit different was that they were in general a little bit more robust. But that makes sense. You know, when you deal with an Irish whiskey, it's not about the finish. It's usually about the light crispiness and the refreshingness of an Irish whiskey. So worth mentioning. All right, anyway, let's go ahead and nose it. So it smells good. It doesn't smell completely unlike anything. And actually, I will say the nose is similar to the Ardbeg Ano. But it is sweet, it's nice, easy smoke, it's honey, it's flowers, which is strange to think of flowers and smoke in the same smell. A little bit of like an oak in there as well, but overall, it's an interesting nose. But, you know, if you look at just the surface, it's a sweet smelling smoke. So that's about it. All right, let's go ahead and give it a cheers. Cheers. Now that is where the smoke goes away a little bit. The first things that you're getting are sweet honey, but they're muted. They're muted. It's not overly, like it's not mouth-wateringly sweet. You get a little bit of fruit in there, kind of think cherry, like dark cherry. Again, it's almost like, you know what it is? I know exactly what this is, and I didn't write this down, so I'm gonna ad-lib here. So you've got a little bit of honey, you've got a little bit of fruit, you've got a little bit of oak. And all three of those taste as they normally would, with this layer on top of a sweet smoke. Just a little, that's where the peat's coming in, obviously. And that's what makes it interesting. This is, as I mentioned, unlike anything else I've tasted out of an Irish whiskey by far, but also even out of Scotch. Not saying this is the best peated thing I've ever had, but it is different enough probably worth your time. So I kind of just gave my overall, but let me just say, I like this whiskey a lot. It's not super expensive. I'll put the price up here because I don't remember what it was. But I think you can get it for like $40. So for an Irish whiskey, that's, you know, kind of maybe slightly higher, but it's really something I think that you should experience. So that would be my recommendation. I think you should buy this whiskey. For the price point and the fact that you will probably never try anything else like this, I think it's worth it. So there you go. That's my recommendation for the Connemara. Have a great rest of your night, and cheers.